Hey everybody, we're back again. It's the Quilting Marine. So we're going to talk about finishing this thing off, our t-shirt quilt. All right, we've been working on this thing for about 9 years, and we need to finish it up because there's a quilt that I really want to start, and everyone's waiting on it, and including my wife. Okay, so let's talk about this stage of the quilt. Okay, we're going to talk about layering or putting the quilt together with my my bottom and my middle, which is my batting. Okay, I chose a low loft batting. All right. I chose low loft because you have the interface onto the t-shirt, and then you're gonna have a batting, and then I'm gonna have my bottom layer, my softy soft fluffy fluff. Okay, which normal people call flannel. Flannel. I think it's flannel. I can never remember flannel, but I can remember softy soft fluffy fluff. All right, that's my original. Okay, so remember, all right. So I laid out my. I didn't cover this because this should be a little bit basic. But what I did was I laid out my t-shirt quilt flat on the floor, and then I laid on top of it my batting. Okay, and then I just cut the batting out around the quilt, and I tried to stay away. I tried to stay at least 2 inches away from the edge of the quilt, going around. Okay. And then I had my piece cut, okay? And then I came back and I got my softy soft fluffy fluff and I laid it on top of that upside down, okay? And then with my softy soft fluffy fluff, I didn't have to go 2 inches around because I knew that already my batting was 2 inches. So I just cut the softy soft fluffy fluff around the same edge as the batting, okay? It doesn't look right here because it's folded over, okay? But I just went, that's what I did. And then, you just lay them down together, okay? And you're set up, all right? It's really simple. That part's really simple. I can do a video on it though if you need me to, okay? Just let me know. But that's really simple, but nothing, all right, I'm not saying that nothing is that simple. Just, if you need me to do it, I'll cover it because, some things that I was left behind, I'd watch a video and they'd be talking this and that and they do it. And they'd be like, okay, so what's next? And then that would be it, okay? I don't want to do that to you. I don't want to be that kind of instructor for you, okay? I want to be an instructor who gives you what you need and then shows you how we do it, okay? That's leadership and instructing, I think, one-on-one. All right, so we got our pieces together, okay? So now we're gonna put them together so that they're ready to be sewn, okay? All right, so maybe I didn't explain, but we want this edge hanging off because later on, once we get done sewing it, all right, because we're gonna stitch. You know me, I'm the king of stitching a ditch. Okay, we're gonna stitch in a ditch, and once we get done, when you do that, the fabric has a habit of pushing out when you sew it and drawing in some of the batting. Okay, so that's why you kind of want to have that distance. So when you start sewing, it doesn't draw, because if you're really close, right? If you're really lined up on the edge like this with all 3 layers and you start sewing, the stitches are gonna draw in the batting and the backing. And you want a little bit of space. You want that comfort zone, okay? You want that warning track. The warning track's gonna warn you that the end is near, okay? Baseball reference. All right, so now the next thing is basting. And basting is when we stitch, when we put all 3 layers together, okay? We put all 3 layers together by pinning or by spray. And unless there's another technique that I don't know about, we do that so it stays in place while we stitch, okay? So what I do is I'll lay my pins out, okay? And I'm not even gonna use all these because this is a pretty small quilt, okay? So what I'll do is I'll lay my pins out and I'll just start basting, all right? So what I do is when I baste, I start from the middle out, okay? And I'm using my wife's island because it's a small quilt. And you could use the floor because I know you guys have probably made huge t-shirt quilts, all right? You can use the floor. You have to be careful though because sometimes you'll go into the carpet, all right? Or you'll stick yourself, all right? So I learned something from a subscriber that was really smart. If you're doing it on the floor, on the carpet, get your self-healing mat, okay, and slide it under so that you have a surface to bounce the pin off of, okay? Now, those of you who spray base, make sure every window and every door is open because you're gonna be high on that spray, okay? Then I just pin it. All right, simple pin, all right? And I try to pin almost at every intersection. All right, and these are threes. These are 3-size pins, all right, and they're bent. I tried to use when I first started, I was like, okay, I'm gonna baste. I get the baste. And I grabbed regular pins, and it was like the longest baste session ever in basting history, okay? Straight pins are hard. They're not impossible to use, I'm not saying that, okay? They're just harder to use, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, all right, so when you baste, okay, remember, make sure that your layers are nice and smooth, okay? Because you don't want to be basting, all right, here's a baste pin, all right? You don't want to be basting and then cause what's called a pucker, okay? That's a pucker. All right, we don't want that, all right? Make sure your layers are smooth, okay? So that when you stick that pin through there, all you see is nice, shiny pin action, okay? All right, so what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna baste this thing. It's gonna take me about 10 minutes, okay? Because this baby is small, all right? And then she's gonna be ready to stitch. And we're gonna roll it up, we're gonna stitch it, we're gonna debut and review a piece of equipment that I got because my wife calls me Mr. Gadgets. I won't admit to the title, but we're gonna review something, okay? All right, so when we come back, we're gonna, I'll show you what my basted t-shirt quilt looks like. Then we'll move to start stitching. Okay, we need to get this thing out of here. I've been on this for way too long for such a small quilt, okay? All right, so I'll see you in a couple of minutes. All right, so like I said, it only took a couple of minutes, okay? So this is what it looks like, because I want you to see what it looks like, okay? I just put a pin at every intersection, all right? Because I think the intersections are really important, all right? This is where when you're sewing through, okay, that's one of the places where you're gonna be crossing. So I just put a pin there. I made sure it's really smooth, all right? So when I start quilting, all right, when I start quilting the 3 layers, you know in that intersection is where you're gonna at least meet once, okay? When you're stitching in a ditch, all right? When you're doing free motion, who knows? I haven't done free motion. I haven't built up the bravery to do free motion yet. I've practiced it every now and then. It's so hairy though. I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll get you to come and try it with me, and we'll make a move on it. But stitching in the ditch, hey, I'm a fan. All right, I love stitching in the ditch. All right, it doesn't get old to me because it's all quilting to me. I just would like to expand my capability and try free motion. So we might free motion a corner on the next quilt we do. We might try that because I have a machine that's really fast, straight stitch, and it's got a nice free motion foot that I really want to use, okay? And that's the brother, all right? It's the brother PQ1500SL, birthday gift. All right, so we're gonna move this upstairs, okay? And then we're gonna go to work. We gotta get this thing done, okay? But this is the front side, basted, all right? And I don't baste the edges. And the reason why is because on the edges, I have a habit, I don't know if it's a good habit, but I have a habit of always brushing it out, pulling out the fabric, doing this. And the pins won't let me do that. And that's why I don't do it, okay? I'm sure people probably do it because they're really confident. I'm really confident too, but I have OCD a little bit, okay? And my OCD has me doing this, okay? I can stay here for the rest of the day and just do this, okay? But we won't do it. We'll do it on the machine. And that's why I don't baste the edge. I find that basting edges also, you get more puckers for some reason. I don't know why that is. All right? Maybe there's some kind of quilting professor out there who could tell me why that is, but this is why. All right, so we're gonna move this upstairs, and we're gonna try out some new equipment, all right, on this. that Mr. Gadget's bought, not me. It was Mr. Gadget's, okay? And then we're gonna start quilting this thing so we can get it done. We're gonna quilt it, we're gonna bind it. Well, we're gonna quilt it, we're gonna square it off. Squaring it off meaning cutting off these edges and making them even. And then we're gonna bind this baby, all right? And it's a wrap. Remember, it's only fabric and it's only thread.